What's up, guys? It's CJ, and I'm back with another episode of Redstone School. Today we are going to be talking about the piston. Now, to craft a piston, you're going to need 3 wood, 4 cobblestone, 1 iron ingot, and 1 redstone dust in a grid like this. Now, your piston is going to be used for any type of moving blocks, so that includes like piston doors and piston feed tapes. You can see it's going to push this block right here. Now you're going to activate your piston by powering it. So you can see the piston is powered from the back right here by this redstone block. And when I unpower it by removing the redstone block, it's going to retract. So your 2 words are extend and retract. Now a piston can be hard or soft powered. So you can see here we've got redstone dust soft powering this block, and it's still going to extend the piston. Same thing with this repeater here. So the block is being hard powered, and that is still going to extend the piston. An important thing to note about pistons is that they have a push limit. So you can push a certain number of blocks. You can see here it's going to push this. But as soon as you get to 12 blocks here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you can see it'll be able to push 12. But once you add one more block to make it 13, it's not going to do anything because it's hit the piston push limit, so it's not going to be able to push any of these blocks. Now you also have your variant of the piston, which is the sticky piston that can be crafted using a piston and a slime ball anywhere in the crafting grid. The difference between the sticky piston and the regular piston is that sticky pistons can also pull blocks. So you can see I've pushed it out here. The sticky piston is going to pull that block back. If you have another block here, that's not going to get pulled because only the side with the face on it is going to pull the block. So you can see it's got the slime here, so it's only going to pull that block. One thing used a lot in a ton of different circuits is a 1-tick pulse on a sticky piston. So you can see we've got a sticky piston here, but if we give it a super short pulse, it's going to spit out its blocks. So this is really useful for when you need it to pull stuff, but you don't want to use a regular piston to push it out and get rid of the block. You can see we'll give it another 1-tick pulse, and it'll grab the block. So 2 pulses is going to push it out and then pull it back in. And this is super useful in circuits that we'll learn later. Now, I'm not going to go super in-depth into this, but there's a thing with pistons that's kind of weird. It's called Quasi Connectivity, and basically there are some weird powerings you can get going, like this right here. You can see we've got a redstone block up here, and for some reason it's going to power this piston. I'm not really sure why, and when you remove it, the piston stays powered until you give it a block update. It's kind of weird, not really sure why it works that way, and it's the same thing with this position here. It's going to extend it. That should not be powering that. You can see even if we remove this block, it's same thing, stays powered until you give it a block update. I'll make a separate video on this just because it's a little bit confusing and doesn't really make sense, but it's super useful in certain situations. Now, the last couple things, there are things called movable objects. So those are things like obsidian, crying obsidian, and a couple other things. You kind of just have to learn what they are. Furnaces, that kind of stuff, only for Java. Darn Bedrock can move tile entities. But these objects you can't push. You can see the piston's not moving, and this can be useful for certain things that we'll get into later with other components. But yeah, basically just know you can't move these. Sort of similar is the Glazed Terracotta. So this here can be pushed, but it can't be pulled back. So basically, this cannot be affected by the stickiness of the sticky piston. And it's really useful in some builds, but doesn't look super great. But yeah, you can see the sticky is not going to affect this. So that will be useful later, probably in the next video. And that is all you guys need to know about the sticky piston. If you found this video helpful, hit the like, make sure you subscribe. This has been Seajayfour, and I will see you later.